How does stress actually affect your hypothyroidism? We're going to talk more about that today. Previous videos, we talked about HPA axis, brain to adrenals. We also talked about the HPT axis, brain to thyroid, and how those things are intertwined and how cortisol plays a role in blocking your thyroid's ability to function properly. But let's talk about the actual stressors that can cause this. There are different types of stress. We have emotional stress. Okay, that's an obvious one. Could be family, could be friends, children, boss, who knows? Emotional stress. You could have financial stress, right? That could be an issue. You could deal with politics and the external environment stress. You could also have infection, okay? You could have an ongoing infection that you don't even know you have, whether it's candida overgrowth or some sort of parasite living in your gut, or you've got mono or had mono when you were a kid and you haven't gotten over it. Your immune system literally has never fully dealt with that completely. Or if you dealt with a lot of bacterial overgrowth like strep, you had your tonsils taken out, or you had tubes put in your ears, or you have chronic sinus infection. These things can all add up to stress. And that stress drives cortisol. And that cortisol keeps your thyroid from working properly. And what your doctor has looked at, they looked at TSH, they looked at T4, and they slapped you with some prescription for levothyroxine and said, we'll see you again in 3 months or 6 months. We'll keep testing these numbers and we'll just keep giving you levothyroxine. And the more that you need, we'll just keep ramping up the levo, or maybe we'll add another thyroid medication to it, fixing nothing about what's going on with this cortisol number and these stressors that are causing this cortisol number, all right? Some of these things we can measure, all right? Obviously, some of these things, your emotional stress, the best thing to do is to get a counselor or a therapist. I tell every one of my patients, especially if you're married, get a counselor. Ideally a marriage counselor, but at the very least one for yourself if your partner's not interested, and being able to talk through the daily grind of being married or having kids or having a job or living in America, being in debt. All of those things, you need to get that off your chest and decrease this stress, which is driving this problem. But there are other stressors as well. I didn't even mention things like heavy metals. That's on the list. Toxins on the list. These are things that we can measure and do measure all the time with our thyroid patients, because those things, if your mental stress is fairly low, physical stress could be causing this problem. Today's your lucky day. In the description to this video, there is a link where you can sign up for a free call from us. Basically, you can ask questions to us about functional medicine, especially about your sluggish thyroid, and we'll answer those for you. We also want to make sure that you are a good fit for our office and making sure that in moving forward, we think we can help. Testing is something that we want to do for our patients and figure out what is causing what. That is your basically your next step. If you're struggling with this, you're watching these videos and you're really trying to figure out what's going on, take advantage of that free call, get signed up. Let's see if we can't make a huge difference by not only figuring out what's going on, but get to the root cause of your thyroid and get you back on the track to optimal health.